On Wednesday, October 8th, 1800, in a large frame house on Milk Street overlooking Boston Harbor, Dorothy Sewell May delivered her fourth living daughter, whom she named Abigail after her husband's mother. "I was a sickly child, nursed by a sickly mother," Abigail recalled, linked from the start to her own Marmee. Dorothy Sewell May's most striking trait was her affectionate disposition, according to Abigail. She adored her husband and children. This natural tendency was intensified because Dorothy had been orphaned at 12 when her father died of a stroke, a year after the death of her 40-year-old mother. Thereafter, Dorothy had lived with her eldest sister, Elizabeth Sewell Salisbury. Elizabeth's husband, Samuel, was a merchant whose apprentice, Joseph May, Dorothy married in 1784. By the time of Abigail's birth 16 years later, the Mays had 3 boys, ages 12, 5, and 3, and 4 girls, 13-year-old Catherine, Louisa, who was 11, 2-year-old Elizabeth, whom they called Eliza, and the new baby. Dorothy had no formal education, and her husband had abandoned Boston Latin School in his early teens to work for Dorothy's brother-in-law. Nevertheless, she determined to send their boys at age 5 to dame or ma'am schools run by women, and then to man schools to prepare for Harvard College, from which her brother, father, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers had graduated. As for her daughters, Dorothy encouraged them to follow a year or 2 of dame school with reading, singing, and sewing at home, where she provided tutors in dancing and music. The girls could read freely, for the Mays had house servants and a library stocked with the classic historians, philosophical works of Priestley and Paley, and the poetry of Pope, Addison, and Shakespeare. The year after Abigail's birth, the family moved 3 blocks south to a plain but comfortable wood house with a large garden and orchards at No. 1 Federal Court, a sunny and cheerful spot off Federal Street that is less than a block from South Station in modern Boston. Around that time, Abigail's frail 43-year-old mother suffered a miscarriage that ended her 13th and final pregnancy. At midday on Thursday, April 29, 1802, when Abigail was 18 months old, her 6-year-old brother Edward arrived home from ma'am's school full of glee and eager to play, according to her 4-year-old brother Samuel Joseph, who was known in the family as Sam Joe. "The brothers were close," Sam Joe said later. "We slept together, ate together, and he taught me all the sports. I every day awaited his return from school." Following the family's midday meal, the 2 boys ran out to the garden, leaving their sisters inside with their mother. Edward climbed to the roof of a barn and pretended to be a chimney sweep. Minutes later, having concluded his sweeping, he prepared to descend from the barn by stepping onto the post of an old wooden chair. The chair post splintered beneath him. A broken spindle pierced his side, and he dropped to the ground. Screams from servants alerted Dorothy, who raced from the house, carried her 6-year-old inside, and called for a bath. Servants rushed to the well and the stove. Not until Dorothy removed Edward's shirt did anyone see the fatal wound. Dorothy fainted, Sam Joe recalled, and all around the dying boy was confusion and dismay. Servants ran to summon the doctor and Joseph May, who raced home from his marine insurance office near Long Wharf. Amid the chaos, Edward's body was cleaned, dressed, and laid out in the best room. "Some strange, awful change had come over my beloved Edward," Sam Joe said. "Eyes shut, body cold, he gave no replies to the tender things said to him, and took no notice of all that was being done to him." But Sam Joe would not abandon his brother's body. He begged his parents to let him sleep with Edward one last time. That night in bed, he kissed his brother's cold cheek and lips.